So how many times have you clicked on something from social media or on a website or what have you that says, click here to access information that you were looking at? Well, most times when you click there, it takes you to a form that asks for your email address. And what happens from that is you'll start receiving messages, emails. Let's talk about email marketing today and internet marketing. Let's go. You're listening to Marketing Adventure, the hub for business, fashion, marketing, and other CTE educators who integrate marketing into the learning experience. I'm your host, Jackie Walker. Each week, I'll cover marketing education concepts, strategies, tips, trends, frameworks, and other information to equip you to connect your classroom to digital natives while cultivating an engaged learning environment. So come on into the room where your favorite beverage, snacks, and even your cell phone are all welcome. Email marketing is one of the most rapidly growing forms of marketing today because you can specifically target your market because they have actually clicked on something to get into your email list. So they were interested. So you know that you're dealing with a market of people who have a very specific interest in something that you've either said, promoted, advertised, or what have you. So now they're on your email list. And what does that mean? So you're sending email messages to targeted markets to inform about something, to educate about something, to promote your business, your product, or your service. And it's generally allows you to curate a list or an environment, a community of people through social media engagement. Some of the benefits of email marketing is that, again, it's very flexible and versatile like your print media because you get to curate the message, you get to curate the content that's going to be put into that email, and you can be creative with it. It is very budget friendly because your email really doesn't cost anything to send an email unless you're going through an email provider or a provider that is sending out emails for you. They're capturing all of your emails that come in, or they have a form that you use to capture the emails that are coming in. So those are services that you tend to have to pay for, but it's very economical because they generally have a variety of plans based on the numbers of emails that you have on your list. So it's very budget friendly. It does have a really high return on investment because number one, the people expressed an interest in you. And number two, you have this targeted list that you can send very specific information to based upon whatever it was that they signed up for to get on your email list. So it has a very high return on investment because they're interested in what you have to say or do. Now, you again can get to design your message. You can write out your script. You can choose your audience. So those things are very regulated by you as the producer of the information. Now, it does help you to build a relationship with the person that's on your email list because you're coming into their email box and you can use first person when you speak to them, and you can have it automatically populate their names into the greeting. So it can say, "Hey, Jackie, I have some information for you that I like to share." And so it makes it very personable, which then reels them on in and makes them feel like, they're important, that you are specifically talking to them. Now, it works to send traffic to your social media platforms as well. So you can use email to do a variety of things. You can put your social media platforms in there. You can put your website in there. You can put a sales page in there. So it works to send the reader wherever you want them to go. So this helps to build traffic in those areas and boost sales for whatever it is that you may be marketing and advertising to the person that's on your email list. And it allows targeting. So when you think about targeting, think about if you're shooting at a bullseye, you have a very specific target that you're trying to go for. You're trying to go for that little red circle in the middle of that target. So you're taking aim and you're taking your shot, and it allows you to be very, very specific. So that's the same thing with email marketing, because those people have bought into your email list. You have them for very specific things, and even within your email provider, list provider that you're going through, you can put tags on the different people based upon how they came into your list so that you can only send them information about that very specific tagged information on your list. And so it allows you to be very, very specific and target your demographics very well. And because you do have them on your email list, you're able to communicate with them immediately, especially if they're looking at their email every single day, which a lot of people are. Now, some people don't touch their email very often, but a lot of people are looking at their email daily, or they even get this pop-up notification on their phones that they received an email. So you have immediate communication to the person about events, promotions, very important information that you want them to know. So email is a very quick delivery to them. You don't have to wait for it to go through the post office to be delivered to their mailbox. You don't have to wait to see them in person and put a flyer or brochure in their hand. You don't have to wait for them to go and buy a magazine or a newspaper to see your advertisement. You have the opportunity to push a button and send it directly to them for them to immediately receive it and be able to read your information quicker, almost quicker than your finger being lifted up off the button. Now, one of the great things for the advertiser is that they get to collect awesome data about the people who are on their email list. So an advertiser uses that information to make decisions on how frequent they should send out emails, what they should put in their emails, how they should target their markets. So it could be something that's to the user's benefit, the data that is collected from the advertiser, because then they can increase the effectiveness of their emails and the content in which they're putting into their emails. So that is email advertising. It's very simple, it's very effective, and it is growing in use. So let's talk about the internet. The internet has been out for decades, a few decades here now, and it has become very, very popular for advertising. So advertising messages that are distributed on the internet, they're distributed through websites, social media, pop-up ads. I know those are annoying, but they're pretty effective, obviously, because they're still being used through search engine optimization. People are able to find what they need on the internet. And what that means is that the advertisers or the people who are promoting on the internet are putting in keywords that users are looking for, and it allows them to be directed to the information that they need without having to search through the internet so much. But internet advertising covers a gamut of things, even email advertising is included in this. But there are over 4 billion users, and that's probably more updated, a higher number now with the more updated information. But 4 billion users are on the internet, from toddlers to boomers. They're out there on the internet. So it is an open playing field for information to be advertised. So when we think about internet advertising, we're thinking about ads specifically. Those can be, like I said, in the form of a pop-up ad, or it could be on a page where you're going to click on something on that page. And so the effectiveness of the advertising on internet is based upon the number of clicks that ad receives. So if there's an ad that's on a web page and it's not clicked very much, then the advertiser can determine or discern that maybe there's something wrong with that ad. There's something that is not leading the viewer to click on the ad. And so it helps them to maybe make some tweaks and changes to the information that they're putting out there. The pop up ads, if people are not clicking on it, then maybe it's the color, maybe it's the frequency of the pop up, maybe it's the size. There's a lot of different things that could play into why a pop up ad or an ad on a website or on social media or whatever place it is on the internet is not being effective. So, clicking on the ad is helping the advertiser to determine how effective the ad is. Now, as with email advertising, internet advertising does allow targeting specific consumers because the ads are being placed on websites, social media, places where a consumer or a user or viewer has determined that they are interested in. Anytime you click on anything on social media, on your phone, or on a website, there are things called cookies that track what you're interested in. That's why you see these days that anytime you go to a new website or anywhere on the internet, it says accept cookies, accept all, or it gives you whatever their website has built into their tracking system. But it came out just a year or two ago that all websites, all social media places had to put that message out there for viewers, users to click and accept cookies. And what that means is that you are accepting. To be able to go to that website, you have to say, I give my permission for this website to put tracking elements on my digital footprint so that they can then in turn send me messages, or they can little pop-up ads or come up or things of that nature. That recently came about that it had to be that everyone put it out there, because before companies were just tracking and they were, silently putting little cookies and tags and all that stuff on our digital footprints without us knowing. And so then we were just bombarded with all these messages and advertisements and things of that nature. And so they felt like it was not acceptable, because people began to complain about all these ads that they were popping up in their emails and different things like that of that nature. Or you get on and automatically you receive an ad about something that you either talked about, that you either went to a website and clicked on one time, and it became very disturbing for users. And so regulation came out to say that, okay, companies, y'all cannot silently track and tag people anymore. The people have to say, yes, I give my permission for you to track and tag me, in order for you to be able to put those trackers, those cookies on their digital footprint. And so you'll see that a lot. And so this gives, when you do say, okay, I give you permission to tag and track me, then you're allowing companies to have very specific information about you and to be able to target you in their advertisement. So that's what happens when with internet advertising. You get to reach a very targeted market of people because of the tracking and the cookies and all of those things. Now, one of the tricky things about internet advertising is that, I mean, it's not really tricky. but you have to be on your P's and Q's with internet advertising. Everything has to work, because the minute a user goes to click on something and it doesn't work, or it takes you somewhere that it shouldn't take you, or the link is broken, that ruins the whole opportunity for you as an advertiser to gain that consumer as your customer. Because let's face it, people's attention span is very short these days, and there's so much competition out there. It doesn't take a lot for a person to be like, I'm not interested. I'm moving on to the next one. I'm going to go to the next brand. Oh, there's another company that sells this or has this information or what have you. So you have to be very vigilant with your technology and the setup of your advertisement, and make sure that everything works as it's supposed to. Now, because we're talking about digital, we're talking about the internet, things are constantly changing. Therefore, your advertisement has to constantly change. It has to keep up with the trends. It has to keep up with whatever is happening here and now. You can't put something on there from a couple of months ago and expect for it still to be effective and engaging and interesting today. Things have to be constantly updated to keep up with the times, to keep up even with just the digital trends that are happening with advertising. So that's one of the things with internet advertising is that it's going to be a constant change. There's going to be a constant need to refresh the information, the look, everything constantly. Now, because we are dealing with digital rather than physical, it is more affordable to advertise on the internet because you don't have the physical products, you don't have the physical settings. It's someone at a computer, graphic designer, whoever it may be, digitally creating the advertisement. Now, some advertisements are campaigns that involve video, so you will get into more cost if you're shooting a video, because you still have to have the camera, the people, the set, all of those things. But if you're just creating like graphic images for your advertising, then that is more cost effective than a lot of other ways of advertising. Now, because we're in a digital age and there's so much going on with scams, advertising digitally is not as trustworthy as maybe the magazine or the newspaper would be. Not only that, there are privacy concerns because, again, there are trackers, cookies that are tagged to your digital footprint that allow people access to your information to a certain extent. So, those are some concerns that most consumers or users would have with internet advertising. Not only that, internet advertising can be seen as being annoying, especially if we're talking about the pop up ads, or like when you go to a website and you're reading something, or even if you're just going to your retailer's page that you want to shop at, maybe you're shopping online, then all of a sudden, there's something that pops up that's advertising something. It's like, I did not ask for this to pop up in my face. I'm looking at something. Then you have to go and click off of the ad, click the X to make it go away. And then depending on how long you're on the website, it could pop up again. So it could be a little bit annoying. When those pop-ups happen, or when you're out there looking for something that you run across all these different ads that are interrupting your viewing, your streaming, or whatever you're doing. So that is internet advertising. There is a lot to it that could be said about it, but this is the gist of what internet advertising is. It's digital, is readily available, is easily accessible. It goes directly to the consumer, and it could really increase, impromptu purchases because of the ads that pop up or that are visible to the consumer while they're on internet, social media, or in their emails or what have you. So there you have it. We have email advertising and internet advertising. I do thank you for joining me here today at Marketing Adventure with Jackie, and I hope that you have a wonderfully blessed day. Thanks for listening to Marketing Adventure. Remember to subscribe, rate, review, and share this episode with someone you think would benefit from the information shared here today. If you have any questions or want to connect with me, find me on Instagram at Marketing Adventure. All links and resources discussed in this episode can be found in the show notes at marketingadventure.com.